Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above, sending you all love and wishing you an incredible start to your week. Today is officially the solar eclipse, and we're getting closer to that lunar eclipse we've been talking about on this channel for over a year. So in today's video, I'll be kicking things off with a Gematria decode and sharing some significant dates to look out for, as well as reviewing the charts to do technical analysis and share the setup for this market as we approach the monthly close for October. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow our community. And for those of you who are interested in learning how to decode using Gematria and would like to develop the skills so that you can read the charts on your own, combining Gematria with technical analysis, or if you're interested and seeking coaching for expanding consciousness, you can visit my website, watersabove.com, and check out my crypto mastermind or my new expansion mastermind course available now. The link is in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below. And with that being said, let's take the clear pill. So, as said earlier, today is officially the solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse, October 25th. And we've been talking about this date for a while and the setup into the total lunar eclipse that's going to be happening on November 7th and November 8th. So if you're new here to this channel, welcome to the Wolf Pack, and I would definitely recommend you catch up on the last 2 to 3 videos. We've been talking a lot about the significance of this particular year being the year of the Shemitah and how it just ended. This is the 7-year cycle practiced in Judaism, and it's been playing a huge role in this crypto market for sure, but of course on the bigger picture, the stock market and the market and the economy as a whole for over 100 years. So definitely be catching up on any of that prior work that I've been sharing over the past couple months. There's going to be a lot of nuggets of wisdom in there, and it will kind of fill you in on what I was anticipating for late October moving into early November for the market as a whole. And of course, cryptocurrency being isolated slightly just because we don't have too much history in the charts for crypto. With Bitcoin, we only have about 12 years. And with most of the other cryptos, we only have about 2 to 3 years. So I made a video a while back called Jubilee Decoded. It was over on my Patreon at patreon.com/watersabove, and we actually shared this setup moving into this date. So when I get into the TA, I'm going to be kicking things off with that, and we'll be taking it from there. But first things first, just wanted to remind everyone we are in that solar eclipse new moon energy tonight, and let's get into some dates. So first things first, we have the date October 25th today plugged into this calculator, and you could see that the date numerology is giving us the 77. And what's really interesting about this is we're getting that 77 date numerology. 7 plus 7 equals 14. 14 is the standard date numerology. And then when you connect this date to November 8th, which will be the last day of this lunar eclipse, we're getting 14 days. Again, 7 plus 7. The reason this 7 is so important comes back to what I shared earlier. We are in the 7-year sabbatical cycle of the Shemitah, and it's not only the year before the Shemitah that really matters, it's the year during and the year after. You'll learn that these elites, these apex predators, are doing everything in threes. So it's pretty much something to consider. It's a 3-year window of energy, and we're now in the last part of that energy. We're at the finality of the eclipse, because once we get through the Rosh Hashanah date, the Hebrew New Year, we have these eclipses that follow it. And then as we move into Q4, where we have Saturnalia practiced in December, and this finishes off the Gregorian year. And we know that we're in that 22 year. We were in the Hebrew year of 5782. That's the 22. Esoterically, this number is the master builder, the master destroyer. So everything from 2021 over to 2023 is a big window of energy, and that's why we've been seeing the markets behave the way they have. And the talking heads on mainstream media and the big influencers on YouTube are completely lost in the sauce because they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. But you decoders out there, the people that have been following this work, you've been prepared for this energy in the market for over a year now. So it's beautiful to watch it come to fruition. And we're starting to see a lot of what we've been talking about over the past 6 months come to life, specifically in the stock market. Cryptocurrency has actually been more mimicking the 2015 cycle, and that is a Shemitah year as well. Something I spoke about in the Jubilee Decoded video that I put out that I just mentioned earlier. So moving on, we have a lot of these 14s and a lot of these connections to the number 7. We are currently in the 43rd week of the year, and the reason that matters so much is because we were talking about the number 14. We have this 7 plus 7 is 14. We have 14 standard date numerology connecting this date of this eclipse to the next eclipse. We have 14 days. And we're in the 43rd week, and the number 43 is the 14th prime number. It's really crucial how this is all connected, as well as when we type in Bitcoin and BTC, the ticker symbol, together, we're getting 43 in Gematria. So we know this number has been big this entire year because if you go back to my Super Bowl Decoded video, put that out back in February, this number 43 and the Skull and Bones 322 number was written all over it. So we were using that, it was really mind-blowing to watch that whole decode come to life in that game, and also watching that Super Bowl come to life in other aspects of our reality, such as the Ukraine-Russia conflict. We've been tracking this now for a long time. So again, if you're brand new here, definitely go rewatch the videos. And the reason why I'm starting with this is because we took a week off of making a video last week, and I'm still getting many new people to the channel, and they're confused. They don't really know where to get started, and some of them are used to content creators coming out with videos every single week, and sometimes even 3 videos per day. And that's not me. I'm an artist. I'm not a content creator. I'm here to actually share something new with the world and to provide you with something that gives you inspiration so that you could become self-sufficient by learning these skills. I want you to learn Gematria and numerology and technical analysis so that you don't need to be reliant on my content. That's really what this was always about. So that's my intention, is to share art. And I know that the Wolfpack respects this, but I just want those people that are waiting for new videos to come out. If you're bored and you have that free time and you're really interested in the art that I'm sharing, first of all, I really appreciate you. But go back and watch those videos. They're for free on YouTube. There's over probably 200 videos by now. Go rewatch those, take notes. You're going to be taking away so much. Even if you just go from the videos in February up till now, you're going to be really, really, blown away by the amount of wisdom that was shared completely for free here on YouTube. And for those of you that want more behind the scenes content, the Patreon, that has weekly updates. I just put out a new Red Pill podcast where I went over the Dow Jones for the first time in a while. I actually did a full-blown TA rundown on that. So again, if you're more interested in that stuff, that's where you'll be catching me more often. But with that being said, this number 43 is just coming up so much this year. It's been blowing my mind how much it's been showing up in not only the world stage, the exoteric stuff, but also in the esoteric. So moving forward, another connection to be made here is how in the 45th week of the year, you could see that right here, we have November 7th, and that will be the date of the solar eclipse, or the lunar eclipse, excuse me. So remember the number 45, and remember the connection to lunar eclipse. And of course, lunar eclipse is giving you 45 in Chaldean. It's even showing up in the Gematria, all right? So we have the lunar eclipse starting the 45th week of the year, lunar eclipse in Gematria equaling 45 in Chaldean. And then as well, that we have another connection here to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin equals 45 in reversible reduction. So Moving forward, another thing is the 11/7 date. If you go to this date right here and you look, it leaves 54 days in the year. And if you type again, lunar eclipse, you're going to be seeing that lunar eclipse is giving you 54 in full reduction. So not only the week of this important lunar eclipse that we've been tracking, but the actual full reduction showing you the days left exactly to the date of November 7th, leaving 54 days in the year. Absolutely mind-blowing. And we know that this is the 117 date, the 11/7, and Bitcoin also equals 117 in reverse ordinal. There's so many connections here. We have Bitcoin equaling 23 in Chaldean, and we know we are in the Jubilee year, which is giving you 23 Chaldean. And, what's also amazing about this Jubilee is we're getting the 44 in reverse full reduction. And if you look into this week, next week is going to be the transition week that was between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. It's the 44th week. 4 being Dalit, the door or the window into another realm, into another dimension, into another experience, into your next level. That's what that number 4 is signifying. So the 44 is that times 2. You get 2 choices, and this could be a turning point in your life, just to give you a little bit more information about specifically that number 44. Moving on, we have that 45th week of the year also being the dates that will have 11/10 and 11/11. All right, and we know 11/11 numerologically is a very important number, but 11/10, this date right here, I'm going to show you, is actually the date that Bitcoin hit its all-time high last year. It was the 111 date. Now, this year it's significant because it's the 111 in the 222 date. The same thing will be for the first day of November. So numerologically, these dates are very important. But remember the importance of this date specifically because it's the 314th day of the year. 314 is pi. Full circle, all right? And it's amazing how Bitcoin hit its all-time high on this day last year, the 314 day, pi day, and on top of that, it hit $69,000, and 69 is the yin-yang, the symbol of balance. And if we type in eclipse, we're going to see that gives you 69. We type in Saturn, that gives you 69. Remember, Bitcoin has 21 million coins in supply. We got that 21 with Saturn. It's just absolutely amazing how all these numbers are connecting together. We know Saturn is Satoshi, and this is all. And when I said before about Pi Day, I'm just doing it in a more esoteric fashion. Of course, you could consider it to be the March 14th. I mean, there's a million different interpretations of this, but the 111222 significance, and this being that 314, it's pretty powerful. So it's something that I'm personally considering. Could definitely be an important date connected to last year, the fact that it will be the 1 year since Bitcoin's all-time high. If you study these charts, you'll learn that Bitcoin actually tends to hit its all-time high and then its all-time low in bull market to bear market cycle with a 1 year time span. It happened back in the last cycle of 2017 to 2018, and it also happened back in the 2014 cycle within at least 12 months. Pretty incredible how algorithmically based this all is. So another thing to mention is in my last Red Pill podcast, I shared TA on the Dow Jones to update everyone on this market as a whole. So I actually wanted to jump into that now because we've gone over some significant dates thus far. And let me just show you this right here, how we have this cycle of 1973. So I'm just going to go out to this moment right here where you see Jubilee. And we were looking at this on the Jubilee Decoded video. And from 1973 down to this 1974 move, I was talking about how this could be a cyclical repeat of this Shemitah cycle. The connection was back to the political sphere with Nixon and that 1971 Nixon shock and everything that led into this bull run of 1973, which topped out in January, just like our current market topped out in January. I'm talking about the stock market. Then we see this pullback, a relief rally, a break of support. And then after the Shemitah, you see this was the start and this is the end. We get real low in this cycle, but then we have a little bit of relief. And in this relief right here, we come up into the October-November eclipses. So it's something that I was considering that into Q4, we could actually be seeing lower lows, but between then, we could have a little bit of relief. So let me just show you what we're currently looking at on the Dow Jones and how this all kind of comes together. So in my last Red Pill podcast, I was talking about the significance of the 31,300 level. It was this red line, and anyone who watched that episode, you were aware of this key target. The reason I was sharing this ahead of time was that I saw us gravitating up to this weeks in advance. I mean, I even shared it going back here. And look at this structure, this kind of like double bottom W breakout, which led to continuation. And we get that same kind of vibe down here. It's pretty interesting setup. And if I was to put this on linear scale and just kind of get an eye for what this W breakout target could be, we have here being your neckline, and then we have here being your measured move. I'll bring it into the candle body closes, and it shows me somewhere around 31,800 points. And this was into my secondary target of 32,000 points. So if breaking above this level of 31,300, with closures above, anticipation to get slightly below the golden pocket. This is so critical because this is how the stock market tends to rebound after having these sorts of corrections, and it could lead to what is called a dead cat bounce. All right, so if you're looking at this on an area chart, you're going to see that we've broken out of a key level right here. We were getting our rejections, we finally had our breakout, and we know our W measured move comes into around 32,000 points. So keep this in mind, guys, because this could be the level where we have a rejection and then we actually come right back down to support and go even lower into Q4. All right, this play would look something like this. So come up into here, maybe right into the November eclipse, and then right after that eclipse, the energy gets severed and you have your dead cat bounce, which a textbook dead cat bounce, by the way, is the 0.5 fib. Then you come down to your supports and you actually go lower. And when you go lower, you're probably going to come down to your next target somewhere around 27,000 points. It's going to look like this. All right, so that's the play, and that could take up until Q1. Of 2023. That whole play out. That's about where we would come back and reiterate, just review where we're at and talk about further downside targets, because the stock market takes about 1 year after the end of the Shemitah to complete its market bottom. Crypto is much faster. And it makes sense because with crypto, you're trading 24/7, 365. There's no breaks. With this, you're closed on the weekends, etc. So there's just a lot more trading going on in the crypto market, of course. So we shared a little bit more about this Dow Jones, and you're like, well, Jordan, what does this matter for the crypto market? Well, it matters a lot, because if crypto is getting a late reaction to this bullish breakout, that could mean that we have a little bit of bullish energy kick into the crypto market soon. Or it means if this was to peel over soon and have that dead cat bounce play out, well, you could expect the crypto market to take another leg down. So let's transition into the Bitcoin charts and kind of see where things are at. This is a very holistic video today. I'm trying to show you guys this from all angles to help you out the best I can. So here we are on the Bitcoin chart, and we're getting something right now, which is this downsloping resistance line, and we're just starting to kind of snail our way through it sideways. This is a very boring market right now, as you could all tell. The crypto market has been just trading at support for the most part on Bitcoin, and some altcoins have been jumping up and down, and that tends to happen, especially when Bitcoin gets really low volatility. We see a flip in Bitcoin dominance, and we know how that goes. Now, building this base level here is very, very similar back to this bottom that we had happening back in 2018. So if I was to shut off everything, you kind of get an idea here. After having these peak tops and a larger sell-off, you have this very arduous, slow drain. But this actually could be more akin to this moment here, and the crypto market could have one leg to the downside, which could be leading into December, just like it did back into 2018. So I'm still waiting for this, and the reason why is because of the lunar eclipse of November 7th. So if we're going to get a break of this support as we're holding it right now, I suspect it's going to be past November 7th into the December full moon. So let's just show you where the December full moon is. It's going to be on the 8th, all right? 1 month in crypto could lead to a lot, especially when you're trading every other day. So look at how quickly, when we broke support, we actually came down to the exact bottom date. Excuse me, I know this is a little bit crunched up, but that was 32 days. It took us 32 days to break this horizontal support, which was in play for a very long time. And once we broke it, 30 days to create a new lower low. And then that was a 50% correction from that level, coming in around December 18th. So if we were to do something similar, if we were to break about 45% to 50% to the downside from our current levels, somewhere starting like the end of this eclipse, and I'm just being theoretical right now, but if we were to take this out 32 days, it would be something like this. Exactly, somewhere around 10K Bitcoin. Now, I don't actually necessarily think we're going to come that low because of the technicals. There's really no technicals that are saying we would come down that low. But if we were to, that would still be holding a higher low from the September 5th, 2020 lows, which I've been very adamant. I do not see us going lower than that. My personal target is somewhere around 14,000 to 13,000. That area would be very normal to backtest, and the reason being is because I study Wyckoff method and I teach Wyckoff method in my course, and that's been a real important way for me to be able to help so many people learn TA from being a brand new beginner in this market. So if you're somebody who's a beginner and you're confused a lot about this TA stuff, but you want to learn it before we move into this accumulation cycle, well, this is the greatest opportunity ever to become educated and learn how to do TA on your own. So my crypto mastermind course teaches complete beginners how to develop these strategies and techniques so that you could be able to pull up any chart and learn where you're at in that chart very quickly because of Wyckoff method. So right here, this horizontal level around 13,300 down to like 12,000 flat. And I think anything below 13,000 will be wicks, like just real quick liquidity shakeouts plus buybacks. You know, that's really your wall for your buy wall. It's the whale buy wall. And if you see right here, we have this peak, we have the automatic rally going back to summertime of 2019, and then we have this little peak right here, followed by some trading range before a deeper cut. So all of this around 12,000 to 13,000 is a huge area to expect. If we're gonna go lower, that's probably where we're gonna go. And if you take from all-time high down to that level around, let's just say 13K, that's an 80% correction. That 80% correction is not weird for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has lost 85% from top in multiple cycles now, but it always tends to recover and have new all-time highs, as opposed to some other projects like XRP, which has yet to have a full, price discovery mechanism in play for continuation to the upside. And that was proven in this current cycle. So that's what makes this market in a very interesting place right now. Before we have regulation, before we have crypto being a household name, we're still kind of playing the old school cycles of having every 4 years a new parabolic high. When Bitcoin makes a new high, all the altcoins that are around at that time do even better. But then we have these OG coins that have yet to really take off into new price discovery. So that's what's so fun about being in the market right now, is we're in that in-between phase of we're still in accumulation for the long term, but in the short term, we're kind of using this to really develop our investment thesis. At least that's what I've been trying to help every one of you with, is to get more emotionally stable and calm about these markets so that you can execute in this market, respond to it instead of reacting, and just make much, much better moves for where you are at in your financial situation, not following or copying blindly some YouTuber. That's not what this is about. This is about you becoming self-empowered and becoming the best investor and hopefully the best version of yourself. So I hope that this outlook is compelling, because I'm trying to attack it from many angles and just be open-minded about it in the process. Moving into the specifics about Bitcoin in the short term, what could lead to these sorts of moves? It's as simple as if we were to have a break of this level right here, somewhere around the 18.5, or actually I would say 18,400 with a weekly close. So a weekly close below these levels, and I do anticipate that would probably be a signal for us to fill in this wick down to 17,700 and then a swipe down lower. So keep that in mind. If we were to have like weekly closes below those levels of like 18.4, that would really signal to me that we're breaking structure and this is not holding the support as well as we would like from a technical perspective. And that would lead to continuation of the downside. On the other side of things, we have about like 5 or 6 candles in a row that have been showing me a bottoming structure where we haven't had any bearish engulfing candles. We've actually had some green candles of continuation. This candle right here on October 10th was perfectly fine, just a reset. And we're still holding. Even this week, last weekly close that we had a couple days ago, we closed on a new structural high based off this bounce. This is looking fine to me. But of course, we are in that new moon energy, and it seems that the bullish quality to this new moon has been more in the indices than it has been the crypto market. There's isolated cryptos that are doing well, but for the most part, this is pretty stagnant. So any closures, in my opinion, above $20,000 is where we would signal upside moves, probably into about, this level right here, 22.4. But I would like to see a daily close above this 22.3 and a weekly close above 20,000. That for me would signal that we're getting bounce opportunities. And of course, we have a W pattern here in the making if we were to close above $20,300. Again, signaling you to about 22.4. Not a huge move at this time, but that's about what we expect. So here we are in Ethereum. We're going to wrap this up pretty quickly because ETH is essentially just following Bitcoin. We have the same kind of idea where it's a month straight holding these support levels. We know that if we were to swipe any higher, you have this big level right here about $1,770. That would be a pretty decent swipe to the upside. That would require some liquidity to shift over from Bitcoin and move into ETH. It's a 32% jump. It's pretty dramatic at this time, but we know because of the volatility that entered the Dow Jones, if we're going to get a late kick into the crypto market from the Dow energy getting severed, that would not surprise me. Basically, that's me trying to say that it wouldn't be weird if between now and the November 7th eclipse, if we had some sort of fake out energy to the upside, where it's like a knee jerk to the upside, then followed by another shake out, fake out. So what's going to provide some resistance is this level right here, something around 1425. And it's because of this peak, this, and this rejection right there. Those are all going to create some resistances, and it's clear as day that 1400 has been a big resistance for ETH for about 30 plus days now. So to be basic here, weekly closes above 1400. It's probably going to signal you to your jump to the upside. And then on the downside, weekly closes below 1250. That's probably where you're going to anticipate a swipe down to fill this level slightly below 1200. And then you would have bringing you back into this fractal of trading right there, which it's $1,000. And $1,000 ETH is going to be a more psychological level to keep in mind. All right. So on the downside, $1,000, that would definitely be a good area to start looking to accumulate ETH again. And I think that if Bitcoin wants to break down into that 13,000, 14,000 level, like I shared earlier, you're going to see a sub $700 ETH. You're probably going to see an ETH come down into $400, $500. That'd be a big washout, but not weird though, because Ethereum, had a 95% correction in the last cycle. So what makes you think it can't do it again, especially in this economic environment that we're in today? Now, we're on XRP, which is looking different than everything, but we have just a couple things to say, and we're going to wrap this up on the XRP chart. We had this W breakout. The W breakout was fulfilled with this measured move right here. We called out the 55, 56 cent target on the day that it happened, so we knew that this play was going to occur, and I was very adamant to people about de-risking if necessary. If you're one of those people that has been waiting to get out, and we watched that play come to fruition. Now, I also shared continuation targets if we're going to move further to the upside. So let's just slowly kind of break that down, and then we're going to talk about downside targets, of course. So here we are with horizontal levels where we have this daily close at around 53 cents on October 9th, and then we have closure lows on the 27th of September, right around Rosh Hashanah. And then recently we've been returning back to that, and now that we've returned back to that, it's showing 44 cents is a very important level, okay? And how weird would that be if we see XRP trading 44 cents into the 44th week of the year? It happens so frequently that it wouldn't even surprise us by now, right? So what we're looking at here is a potential very big W pattern. And if this W was to have a breakout, it would also solidify that move into 58 cents to 61 cents, which I shared this target with you guys probably 2 weeks ago now. So if we are going to get another move to the upside, it would be after the RSI resets, which we can see it's getting pretty close because RSI now is below 50 on the daily. We're seeing that MACD has crossed bearish, histograms are red. We're starting to curve pretty violently into the neutral point around 0. That's kind of what you see with XRP though. This is a normal move for XRP where it has a big explosive breakout. People come out on Twitter, they come out on YouTube, the XRP army screaming about crazy upside targets. It never comes to fruition because none of those people know how to look at a chart, and then it just repeats the emotional sentiment cycle. So my advice is get out of that emotional sentiment cycle and learn the skills here of doing Gematria, Numerology, and TA. That will set you free from this emotional roller coaster of nonsense that comes from the people that their entire, career of social media is following the SEC case. I mean, come on now. How much prana has been lost in just, following this theater of politics. I mean, it's really unimportant, and you could have been trading this market the whole way. So focus on what matters most, which is something that you can make a change in. Get involved in stuff that you can take action in. You can't do anything about the SEC case, so it's not worth your energy. All right, words of wisdom. So with this breakout right here, I do anticipate if we were to close a daily above 53 cents on XRP, we're going to swipe up to 58 to 61, maybe even 62 cents. And then on the downside, if we're going to start closing like 3-day, 5-day candles below this 44 cent level, then a swipe down to 39 would be in play. The reason for this being such a crucial level is you could see right here. We held daily candles all along that 39.38 cent level. Then we broke below it. Then we got rejected on it, effectively confirming a prior support is now a resistance. Then we got rejected on it a bunch of times. We're looking at about 2 trading weeks of rejections plus another move. And then we started to build structure. The reason I could say that is because we have low, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then we broke this middle level right there with this breakout. So now we're technically on a reversal, all right? And then with this current move, we haven't really traded back into 38, 39 cents. So it would be typical to have a moment like this, but on the downside. So something that brings you down into this level, and then you would see how it acts. Maybe an inverse head and shoulders pattern that gets you onto continuation to the upside. But because we're approaching that eclipse, that would not be weird to me if we just see XRP come down with the entire market. And, that's been going on since time immemorial. So don't get, shaken out if we start to see XRP below 40 cents again, because that's just what is sort of what this is sort of looking like at this moment. But again, if Bitcoin wants to break to 20,000 to 22,000, that would be a signal to me to see at least a 53 cent XRP, and then potentially even continuation if those things that I mentioned before come to fruition. So I'm going to leave it at there. I gave you guys upside, downside targets for everything. Dow Jones, Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be catching you all on the next live stream that I do, which I believe I'm going to be doing live streams now moving forward on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be making a preview for that to give everyone the date ahead of time. I think that will be better for everyone's schedule. I'm really looking forward to hanging out with you guys this Saturday. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of your day. And I'll be catching the rest of you over on our Discord and Patreon. Appreciate you. Much love.